It's a rare moment in modern public discourse when two worlds collide so dramatically: the meticulous bureaucracy of official investigation and the fevered imagination of conspiracy. And yet, the recent statement by the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Deputy Director Dan Bongino affirming that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, a claim at stark odds with their earlier implications, means that we find ourselves on the fault line between fact and narrative. To even acknowledge that there might be some doubt that he died by suicide is to fuel the conspiracy. Epstein, the disgraced financier with an astonishing well-connected social calendar, died in a New York prison cell in August 2019, and the official cause suicide by hanging, yet his death spawned a cottage industry of conjecture. Bolstered by two key facts: the security cameras failed and the guards reportedly fell asleep. Now, in a remarkable volte-face, Bongino, once a staple of right-wing radio railing against what he called the Epstein cover-up, has joined Patel in asserting unequivocally that Epstein did in fact kill himself. I wonder what pressure was put on him. This narrative revision coincides with their promise to release documents concerning the Obama-era Department of Justice, which they allege was weaponized during the Russian investigation. Their statement matters for three reasons. First, it represents a significant shift in the rhetorical terrain. For years, the Epstein case has stood as an exhibit A, in the argument that elites protect their own. To now assert closure, and in such absolute terms, is a gamble on institutional credibility. Second, it puts in tension two interesting claims: the desire for transparency regarding the DOJ's supposed abuses and a simultaneous appeal to trust, the FBI's finding in the Epstein case. Yet the very people being asked to trust the latter have been told for years that the same figures are not to trust the former. Third, this move reveals something darker: that conspiracy theories are simply, they're not simply fringe entertainments, that they're tools, ideological levers that can be deployed, withdrawn, or redirected depending on political needs. So why do conspiracy theories remain so resilient even when discredited? Because they offer the aesthetic of explanation. A conspiracy theory, as Umberto Eco in Foucault's Pendulum once observed, is the laziness of reason dressed up as insight. It offers agency where none exists. When Epstein died, the world didn't mourn a man, it panicked at the narrative gap. He was linked to presidents, princes, billionaires, and black books. His trial would have implicated many. His silence, made permanent, was read not as suicide, but as silencing. And pattern recognition, proportionality, bias, and agency detection, these are not fringe pathologies, they are hardwired cognitive traits. And as such, the idea that a man at the centre of global scandal was quietly found hanging in his cell simply offends the narrative instincts of the human brain. The Epstein case is not singular, it's symptomatic. In the past half-century, we've seen profound betrayals of trust: Watergate, Iran-Contra, the lies that led to the Iraq War, the collapse of financial regulation in 2008. In those contexts, believing the system works simply, to many, not merely naive, it appears just willfully blind. And so when Patel and Bongino now ask us to trust them, to trust the autopsy, the photographs, the forensic evidence, they are in effect attempting to draw a line in the sand. One cannot repair public faith by demanding it, especially when you've spent years eroding it. There's a subtle distinction between certainty and truth. Conspiracy theories offer the former, often at the expense of the latter. And Bongino's new position is that we must accept the facts. But facts, as Hannah Arendt warned, are most endangered, not by lies, but by the blurring of categories, where facts are treated as opinions and opinions masquerade as facts. In a society without shared facts, the ground becomes fertile for opportunists, and Epstein's ghost, as both symbol and cipher, continues to haunt that terrain. So where does that leave us? It leaves us, I suggest, with a choice. Either we choose the harder, slower path of genuine inquiry, where ambiguity is tolerated, evidence is reviewed, institutional failings are scrutinized without abandoning a real discipline, or we yield to the narcotic allure of knowing that someone somewhere did it, and we alone have seen through the lie. To paraphrase Voltaire, uncertainty is uncomfortable, but certainty is absurd. Let's not replace one absurdity with another.